Move and be moved by these savings right now at Team Mazda. Choose a new 25 Mazda CX-50, Mazda CX-70, or Mazda CX-90 and get low 1.9% financing. Discover the Mazda experience and save right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Not especially when we're half
Right in my
asleep.
ear.
Right. Right, you blow it out. Mondays are especially rough. I don't know if you've had your
Mondays
take
aren't rough. We got to get through Monday to get to
What?
Friday.
Well, that is also true. Glass
That's
half
true.
full. I like that. But I'm doing rough. I had Benadryl yesterday because I was eaten up by mosquitoes.
Oh.
Yeah, and I get allergic to mosquitoes, so I've got like a big old.
Oh my
That's a
gosh.
mosquito
Yeah,
bite
that's
that
right.
I get allergic to them too. So I've been itching.
That's her story, and she's sticking to it.
Look at my ankles.
I'm sorry,
Look
when I
at my
looked at it.
ankles too. Yeah, I
Okay.
just telling Matt, it's not a hickey. I promise. It's a mosquito bite. That went off the rails fast. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You know, but that's kind of the side effect of taking Benadryl. You know, it helps, but then it kind
Drowsy.
of knocks you out a little bit. All bennied up. Yeah, I
My
know.
Benadryl was LSU baseball last night.
Oh, well, that
Yeah.
also happened last night, and that was
I
rough
mean,
to
we had
recover
two
from.
shutouts, right? Earlier this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah, we did. You trying to get me to talk about last night?
I mean, it
Well,
could
I want you
have
to-
been worse, Matt. You could have been at the game.
Also
You're
true.
so knowledgeable about everything sports and baseball. I want to get your take on what's going to happen tonight. Are we
What's
okay
gonna
tonight?
What's going to happen tonight is I expect them to, you know what they talk about in games like that, you just got to flush it, right? But it's always there. That just happened. I expect them to be angry at
Yeah.
themselves.
They're going to crush them.
I would expect them to. But I was telling Liz when I came in this morning, because it was a late game, and so I saw like the first inning, and they had a good first inning, and then Little Rock comes back. I had to go to sleep because I got to get up and do this stuff.
Wow.
And so I woke up this morning, but I was telling Liz, I was telling you, I expected the score to be like 10-4, the score that it was, right? You expect that the LSU bullpen and their pitchers, they're going to finally give up some runs. To your point, they didn't give up any, but you're bringing in some guys, that kind of thing, and so give up a few runs. But you also expect the LSU offense to just crush a Little
Come
Rock
on.
squad that, come on, this is the second time they've ever made a regional, ever, right, in the history of their program. So you expect the LSU offense to just, start crushing. Reverse the score, 10-4.
And that's what happened. You know, it's almost like there's like jet lag from that big delay that they had back
Yeah.
on Friday, which, by the way, I had absolutely nothing to do with that delay on Friday. I'm sitting here and I'm like, play the game.
Yeah.
And then when they came out, they go, oh, we're going to start it at 5 p.m. No, that's when it's going to probably
That's
rain.
probably the worst
it
part.
did, and what did they start at, like 7 p.m., something crazy?
7:07
like
or
7:07,
something.
yeah.
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 Nothing to do with that at all. I was
Yeah.
just as frustrated as you. But they
Yes.
won that one, and now it's
then
like
they won the
every
next
game's
one.
pushed
Yeah.
back. Tonight's start time at 8 p.m.
At
That's
8
a late
o'clock.
start.
So what is your feeling?
The feeling is they got to find the pitching. They set a program record yesterday. They walked 11 people. They could not get hits when it mattered most. And so, I can't imagine they're going
Were
to
they
set another
overconfident
program
because of the team?
I don't
We
know.
were playing?
I don't think so. Because
So win or lose tonight?
I say, well, of course, win.
Win.
Of course, I
I
say
know
got
you
his
win.
want
tie
them
on.
to win, but
Of course
what's
I
your
say win.
knowledge of?
Well, because you can't. If you're just playing the odds, if you're asking me that, yes. If you're just playing the odds,
Yeah.
LSU wins. Absolutely. You're playing the odds, LSU wins 95 out of 100 of those games against a squad like Little Rock. But apparently last night was one of those.
Well, yeah,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
Arkansas came
We'll
back
see.
with a vengeance too. They wanted to do something to them.
Well, it's a weird tournament for anybody following. It's a
Yeah.
weird tournament. The number one seed, for the first time in the history of the NCAA bracket since they went to a super regional format, the first time an overall one seed didn't even make it to a regional final. That's Vanderbilt. They got bounced.
How does that happen?
The number two
Yeah.
seed is gone.
That's
Texas
why this
is out.
time of year is so interesting.
So it's crazy.
Anything can
It's crazy.
happen.
Gosh, I love baseball.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's a crazy couple of weekends, and
Yes.
this past weekend especially with the regionals everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun unless your team's losing.
Well,
Yeah. The
so you're going to
pressure's
go?
on.
And
When
it
you're number one, the pressure's on.
It is.
And Little Rock, you're just kind of playing with house money, nothing to lose.
Right.
Take a few more chances. You're definitely not playing tight. You're loose.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
That's part of what it is.
I don't
Well,
know
if I'm not
guys
here
have been
by
there.
4:30, well, actually, I'm never here by 4:30. If I'm not here by 4:35,
4:35 and 30
then
seconds.
call me.
do traffic for me tomorrow because I am going to.
I got it. Hey, you did. It's only fair. You did weather like a couple weeks ago or something. It's only fair that I reciprocate.
And I did it well.
I
Zero
heard
mistakes.
I heard you did wonderfully.
Oh my
Really?
gosh! And my forecast
Where'd you hear
was
that from?
spot on.
Johnny?
For me,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
My forecast was spot on.
Was it?
Well,
as far as you know.
hard to be wrong when it's severe clear and no rain for 3 weeks or whatever.
You're clear, all right.
It was a hot stretch of days where he said it was just hot and dry. Back to you.
Well, it's a good thing you are here because we'd rather than okay. So
I will actually agree with Matt on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But actually today, flirting. I mean, we're going to have 90s. Welcome to the first part of June. Here come the 90s, but maybe not today.
Maybe not today. Maybe 89 cents instead of 90 cents. Yeah, save a penny.
That matters.
Need a penny, save a penny.
In
or
terms
take
of
a penny.
temperature, we'll take every bit of that.
take all the
Look at us
pennies.
now, 70 degrees.
I like the positivity, Liz. I love it. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, let's get a live look outside. On a Monday, let's get it. It looks like today is going to be a decent day. More sun than clouds. And it is going to be a nice one. Of course, the humidity a little bit high, but this time of year, this time of day, that tends to happen. 70 degrees out your door right now. On our way to highs in the upper 80s, exactly where we were yesterday. Yesterday's high 87, a little bit below normal. Not bad. We'll definitely take that this time of year. Nothing really doing on our live local radar. We had a couple of clusters of storms, one to the west in Texas, one to the east by Slidell. Both of them have completely fallen apart, and it looks like we are going to stay mainly on the dry side. But we could see 1 or 2 stray showers later on in the afternoon. The graph showed them, not that much. Let me kick it on over to the HRRR. They've been relatively consistent. We'll stop it right here at 3 in the afternoon. One little popcorn thunderstorm, mainly missing the Baton Rouge area. And by the time we get after 7 p.m., everything falls off. So you don't need the rain gear for today, and it bodes well for the baseball game tonight. Weather will cooperate. Then on Wednesday, a slightly better chance of afternoon storms, but there's nothing of great organization over the next several days. But that's kind of good news because we're not expecting anything severe right now over the next few days. We're not expecting any washouts, but what we will see is a steady increase in dew points. So the moisture, the humidity, that's going to be pumped up later in the week going into the weekend. Of course, because it is June 2nd, we are now tracking the tropics on this second day of hurricane season. Nothing in the Atlantic, but a 40% chance off the coast of Mexico. That's in the eastern Pacific. Remember, if something forms there, it would actually be the B storm. They already had their A. That was Tropical Storm Alvin. That was in the eastern Pacific last week. One of the things that really helped us last hurricane season, and fingers crossed, going to help us this hurricane season, the African dust, some pretty thick plumes of dust are going to cruise across the Atlantic. Isn't that incredible how it goes from Africa all the way into the Gulf? I know it could affect your allergies or if you're an asthma sufferer, but that's one of the things that sometimes can help put a lid on the tropical season. Of course, nobody would be complaining about that. For today, partly cloudy, a stray shower possible, but definitely not likely with a high of 89. Then for tonight, temperatures getting down to the upper 60s will bottom out around 69 degrees. In the all-important 10-day forecast, we do have a lot of chances of rain, but nothing tremendous. And as I mentioned before, no washouts are expected. Biggest thing I have right now, 40% on Friday. Sneak peek at the weekend for the most part looking pretty good, but definitely hotter. Snuck in that little 93 there for a high on Sunday. So yes, we can't fend off the 90s for too much longer. 7:10 out your door, Johnny A. How's traffic?
A little problem in Denham Springs coming toward the Baton Rouge area. 12 westbound, left lane and left shoulder blocked right at the range overpass. It's right there, and it's a crash with injuries. We saw the ambulance just pull off. So the crash is kind of in between the tree line right there. Still have emergency vehicles you can barely see right there. The ambulance was right there, and I just saw them put lights on and take off. So that's at least gone. But there's your backup from Jubin right past Pete's Highway and on toward Range. When you get past Range, you're going to be fine all the way into the downtown area. And again, most of that backup is going to be between Jubin and Range right now, and then it thins out some. But 26 minutes from Jubin to the 1012, from the 1012 to downtown, you're looking really good. 7:11, it is WAFB 9 News Now. We do it every morning right here at 7 o'clock, again at 3 in the afternoon, 3:30 in the afternoon, 9 at night. And it's right here on WAFB Plus, or WAFB, your news app. It's 7:11. Matt and Liz back with a couple of headlines. Stay with us.
7:12 your time right now. Before you get going, a couple things we're following. Actually, a couple of house fires. Liz, we had this morning 2 fires being worked by Baton Rouge Fire Department. This is the most recent one, about 3 o'clock.
So this one happened on Jefferson Avenue right around 3 o'clock this morning. We're told this was a vacant house fire, and no one was injured in either of these fires. We're told the second scene happened earlier in Scotlandville. So as we figure out what may have caused both of these, we'll let you know. This is that second scene.
So that's Southern Avenue. If you know the area, that's Scotlandville neighborhood, right? But again, crews getting to both of these scenes, able to stop it from spreading anywhere else beyond that, which is good. But we'll let you know the very latest on those investigations. Speaking of investigations, there is an officer-involved shooting with Baton Rouge Police Department being investigated right now. Liz, this started with when an officer was trying to perform a traffic stop, and then people took off.
Yeah, actually past the red light there at Winborn and Foster. We're told multiple people got out of a vehicle and then took off on foot, and we're told at some point the driver allegedly pointed an AK-style weapon at the officer, and that's when he fired back there. Right now, we do not know the name of the officer or the suspect in this incident, but we do know that the officer has been put on administrative leave, which is typical in these types of investigation. As we get new details on this, we'll pass them along to you through the 9 News app.
How about a conversation with Baton Rouge Bishop Michael Duca? And so he's actually stepping up to the microphone today, Press Club of Baton Rouge. Gee, I wonder, Liz, what he might be talking about.
Well, I believe we have a new pope there at the Vatican, and so he's going to talk about how Pope Leo XIV, Chicago-born Pope, August, also spent a lot of time serving in Argentina, how that's going to impact the Catholic believers all around the world. So he's expected to talk today at the Press Club of Baton Rouge. 12:15 is when he will start taking the mic there, and they'll serve lunch. Keep in mind, Press Club only serves members of the press. You can listen in, but they can only ask questions. So come in and join and find out about how, because there's a large Catholic population in the greater Baton Rouge area, so we'll see what he has to say.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And it's indoors and air conditioned, which is even better for summer months, even though we may not hit 90. Maybe.
Listen, we don't like to sweat and eat. Well, crawfish we'll make an exception for, but hot food. Yeah.
There you go. Not sweater weather, sweating weather.
Oh, that's it.
Could be driving Experience the thrill of a new Honda Accord right now from Team Honda. Named a Car and Driver's 10 Best Award winner for the 39th time. Get 2.99% financing for 60 months right now on your new Accord. At Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.